Welcome back to the detailing bay. Today's episode we're going to be looking at clay barring. So a nice, quick, easy how-to guide for claying your car.
Yeah.
So why would you need to clay your car, Dave?
Because after you've washed it, even like as stronger chemical as you want to go, there's just some things that you just can't get off. So the best approach is clay. It is a form of abrasion and it does carry risk, but it's the only way you're going to get off that build up. It's not something you're going to be doing every other week.
No.
You want a year or 2 years, you know, back of the hand you can feel just a slight roughness. We want to get rid of that, and the main benefits is also going to be you're going to get that little bit more clarity in the paint.
Yeah. Where I was just going to say, because you could spray a quick detailer on there in a white microfiber and there'll be nothing on the microfiber, yet clay will still take something off. Where's that dirt hiding? Is it porous?
It's just bonded.
Right.
It's far beyond what anything else can lift off. And the problem is, if you went a chemical route and just went, well, oh, hang on, you know, hydrofluoric acid's just going to...
Yeah.
What you're going to do to your paint in the process of doing that. So there's a point where you can only go so far, and then you move on to like a form of abrasion. Claying is that ideal one. It's been used in body shops for years for overspray, and it is brilliant in just bringing off absolutely everything.
Yeah. You can use it on glass as well, can't you?
Brilliant on glass.
You've got them smears on
a
your
lot of people miss it, but clay in your glass, especially your windscreen, it makes a massive difference.
Yeah. Right. I mean, there's a lot of different clear lubes and bars, and some brands have like multiple, mild, medium, hard. But we've just gone for Alchemist today, haven't we? Because
it's nice and mild. We know the history of the car, so we know roughly where we need to go. It only needs a mild clay. But if you've got a car that's been sat under trees or just never been clayed, it's 7-8 years old, you might want to step it up. You also need to be wary of the fact that the more aggressive the clay, the more impact it's going to have on the paint, possibly in a negative way as well. For instance, marring and some light scratching. So you've got to weigh them options up. If you're going to be machine polishing afterwards, then, you know, go with a more aggressive clay, make your life easier. But if you're saying today all you're wanting to do is give it a clay bar and then put a nice wax down, then just go that little bit milder and just reduce any form of risk of marring and any light scratching.
Right. The process is pretty simple. Obviously this is just being washed and dried, so that's your first step ticked off. And then at this point, like you say, once you've used your fallout removers and your degreasers and you still know that there's going to be contaminants on there, it's time to break out the clay lube and the clay bar.
Yep, and the clay lubes, again, they come in all shapes, sizes, forms. There are some clays out there that are geared more towards like less sappy ones, like Built Amber. You find them feel a lot drier. The purpose of that is they can be used with water. Me personally, I still like to use some form of a lubricant. You can make a lubricant yourself, you can drop a little bit of shampoo in there. You know, you want the clay bar but to a lot of people it makes it a lot more straightforward, because again you can use quick detailers.
I was going to say they're not that much of a technical product, are they really?
They're not, but it makes life easier sometimes, because again, if you're mixing with a shampoo, you've got to make sure it's more of a pure shampoo. You don't really want to be using one that has waxes in it and so on, and you want to get the dilution right where you're not like leaving like too much of a residue behind as well. So it just makes it easy. Clay lubes are relatively cheap as well, it just makes life easier.
Would you say that's about right? I've just pulled a little bit off
that's absolutely perfect, just
a bit bigger than a 50p piece.
And just lubricate an area, don't work too big an area.
So I'll do a bit of a section.
Like I said, not too big, nice and lubed up, and away you go. Nice back and forth motion, not too much pressure. Let the clay do the work.
You can feel it grabbing, can't you, to begin with? Even though it's lubed up, you can feel it
you feel it grab, and then you'll find as it slowly starts to smooth off and it's gliding easier. And even when the clay bar, when you look at it, it's not always that dirty, but you can see there like what it's picking up. Because you don't even realise sometimes, like when it's driving along the roads, what it is actually picking up.
Would you reuse that piece?
Fold it into itself, roll it, reform it. It's not picked up anything. If it picked up a massive chunk of something, I'd be tempted just to rid it. But that, just reform it, just form out again, and you look, it's become clean again. Quick inspection sees there's nothing in there.
There's no grit or anything.
And then just give it one last hit just to make sure you've got everywhere.
Feels a lot smoother.
And you'll find now that even even if you're going as basic as putting a wax on, that wax is going to work so much better going directly onto the paintwork and not sat between that film.
Yeah. Can I hand you that?
Absolutely, yeah. And again, yeah, it's just picked up that last little bit. Not quite as dirty, you know, as before,
definitely, but still something.
Yeah.
So obviously at this point, you've cleaned off those last bits of contamination, but you've also stripped anything that's on there. So do you need to follow it up with a wax or last step?
Yeah, so I mean, there's that many sealants waxes out there that there's the age-old argument, has it removed everything or not? But in terms of, you would want to follow it up with some form of protection, because even if there are bits of a sealant left behind, it's massively reduced it to the point where,
like you said earlier, most people are going to be doing this as part of the stage of
it's a very
applying
good
a new wax
preparation for following it up with new protection.
But just bear in mind, if you have cleared your car, probably follow it up even with something like a quick detailer or ceramic spray that's got some protection.
Just get some form of protection on there. It can be anything you like, whatever your choice is, but just get something back on there really.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching that one. Nice, quick, easy how-to guide. Stay tuned for the next one.